Hello everyone, how are you today? Hope you're feeling good. My name is Fadi Ayad and my colleagues Abdurrahman Hassan, Rini Refat, Silvana Khalil and Sameh Yusr. And today we will talk in our presentation about Manial Palace or Muhammad Ali Palace. I hope you will like it. So we will start by some information like it is located on Manial Rhode Island in Cairo and the palace is a unique architecture. Then the palace includes three sarais: Residence Sarai, Reception Sarai, and the Throne Sarai, in addition to the mosque and the sabil, the private museum, the hunting museum, the clock tower, and the garden, and all that surrounded by enclosure wall.
Prince Muhammad Ali, son of Al-Khedive Tawfiq and the brother of Khedive Abbas Hilmi, he was a man of knowledge. He was a guardian of the throne after the death of the King Fuad I until the King Farouk ruled in the same year at 1936. Prince built a palace and has a hall called the Throne Hall waiting for a opportunity. Prince Muhammad Ali, son of Al-Khedive Tawfiq and the brother of Al-Khedive Abbas Hilmi II. He was a man of knowledge and also he was a guardian of the throne after the death of the King Fuad I until the King Farouk ruled in the same year at 1936.
Hello, my name is Irini Refat. Now I will talking about the history of the palace. The ownership of the land on which the palace was located transformed between members of the royal family and foreigner registered in Egypt, and it was the property of the Prince Mustafa Fadil Pasha and Prince Ahmad Rifat Pasha. Then its ownership was transformed between Khidewi Ismail, then Mr. Aloy Marie Joseph, then the Duke Edmund. In 1888, the Duke Edmund relinquished his properties to one of the French subjects in Egypt are called Jean-Claude Archive. In 1902, Prince Muhammad Ali bought them and he began building his palace in 1901. During his royal era, Prince Muhammad Ali held many parties and meetings in the palace which were called by the top statesman Pasha and cried ministers, writers and journalists. The prince recommended that after his death the palace be a museum that would enjoy the beauty of its visiting artists. After the 1952 revolution and the nationalization of the property of the family of Muhammad Ali Pasha, the palace was entrusted to the Department of Refunds, which delivered its contents in 1964 of the Egyptian Company of Tourism and Hotels, which is turn constructed a hotel in the name of the Manial Palace Hotel. In the park of the palace was two stories granite wooden shelter with 180 double rooms, and with issues of the business sector law number 203 of the hotel was including the properties of the holding company for housing, tourism, hotels and cinemas, which created a conflict between the money management recovered and the holding company, which ending with the primer prime minister issues a decision to hand over the palace park to manage the museum and demolish wooden shells and destroy the beauty of the palace.
The mosque, despite its smallness, is considered as a unique architecture and a decorative masterpiece. Also, the mosque surface has been decorated with a frieze of cobra in the top of it. The mosque was built in the Ottoman
I will talk about the clock tower. The clock tower is located between the reception halls and the mosque, built by the Prince Muhammad Ali Tawfiq, in the style of towers in Andalusia and Morocco. And these towers were used for the purpose for guarding, observing, and communicating message to various parties in the country, such as media, out of war and news of actors, or announcing the start of Arab months and holidays, or judgment order and others.
Hello, my name is Sama Hisri, and I will be talking about the reception palace or the reception sarai. Actually, the reception palace consists of two floors. The first one includes a protocol room to receive important figures, senior stage officials, and ambassadors. And the second floor has two large rooms, one of which was designed for the Moroccan style and with its walls covered with mirrors and ceramic tiles. The other hall was designed in the Levantine style. The were covered with wood carvings, colorful geometric and floral motifs, alongside verses from the Quran and poetry passages. And the palace here, its furnishings and the prince collection were given to the Egyptian Supreme Council of Antiquities in 1955. So the Manial Palace here and estate are a public art and history museum with historical gardens and fostered nature park. There is also Hunting Lodge Museum that belonged to the late King Farouk. So the reception here was designed for receiving officials, guests, and it's like of two stories. The first story has two rooms, the ceremony room and the reception one for those who are offer Friday prayers with the prince. The second story has two halls, the Moroccan and the Syrian hall.
Now I will talk about one of the most beautiful things in this palace. I will talk about the residence sarai. And it's the main building that was constructed, and it was the residence of the prince. And it consists of two floors connected by beautiful ladder. And also there on the wall portrait. The first floor is consists of the fountain, the harem room, the shakma, the mirror room, the blue salon, the seashell room, the dining room, and the fireplace room. The shakma room. It has a beautiful decoration with numbers of chair and a sofa. And in the middle of the room there are a table with a box. Also there a heater takes the shape of the pencil. The mirror room it contains two large mirrors and the leather salon. Also there numbers of portraits of sultans who ruled the Ottoman Empire. The blue salon, this name as the decoration of the room, especially the lower part of the office wall, which painted in blue. And there are a sofas and the prince's office and his library, which that still has a numbers of books and papers. The dining room, it contains a dining table around large numbers of chairs, and there are a beautiful niche which contains the most beautiful dishes and cups. The seashell room, this is next to the second floor. It consists of bathroom connected to the room of the prince. Then there are rooms for the throne sarai. We don't know why the Prince Muhammad Ali Pasha established it in the palace, and knowing that he never sat on the throne. Wherever the sarai is consists of two floors. The first floor is a long corridor, on the both sides sofas and chairs dedicated to the high officials. And at the end of the corridor there is a throne chair, flanked by two candlesticks, and on the top of the chair there a picture of Muhammad Ali Pasha the Great. And when you enter the floor on the left, You find members of Alawite family who ruled Egypt from Ibrahim and Tosun Pasha to Abbas Hilmi II. And on the right there are art paintings brought by the Prince.
Now I will talk about the Golden Hall. The Golden Hall is called its star-shaped salon, and it was used for official ceremonies. And despite being devoid of antiques, it's considered a stand-alone masterpiece for the engraved floral and magical motifs on its wall and gilded very court. Prince Muhammad Ali moved this hall from the house of his grandfather, who originally built it to fit in the after-serving Sultan Abdulmajid I, who attended to honor Hilmi Pasha after his victory over the Russian Empire. It was called the Golden Hill due to the implementation of the decoration of all its walls and ceiling in the gold in the style of Ottoman Rococo, and columns in the form of palm trees with an Egyptian touch.
Starting with the private museum. The private museum here is situated to the southern part of the palace and consists of 14 halls divided by a yard with a small garden. The palace garden is a rare plant museum where the prince collected a lot of plants of unknown Egypt and was able to adapt them to the soil and environment. So it's a real example to the modern Egyptian history.
Hunting Museum was opened in Prince Muhammad Ali Palace in 1963 ED, which means that was added to the palace after the death of the prince. It consists of a long corridor to the northern wall of the palace and displays group of mummies. The museum was closed in 2006 and 6 AD for development purpose. Then it reopened in 2017. In the museum, we shows a most amazing collection of colorful butterflies, a pair of huge snake skins with length of more than 5 meters, and a group of birds, European birds, in addition to the gift of the ruler of Sudan to King Farouk collection of furniture made from elephant bodies. The palace garden, which has an area of 34,000 meters, it includes a rare group of trees and plants collected by Muhammad Ali from around the world, including Indian fig trees and type of palm trees such as the royal palm with white stems and bamboo trees. Muhammad Ali collected many strange plants from the Egyptian environment. The famous planet in the group of alloy, which had reached at some time to 55 types, also including royal palm trees and mango trees and ornamental plants.
Now I will talk about the restoration. In 2005, the palace was closed and its 10 years restoration work started until it was reopened in 2015. The restoration work included the complete maintenance of all palace buildings, including decoration and halls, painting and decorating work, restoration of antiquities, in addition to reinstalling the archaeological ceiling of the stone cyril, which fell due to the time factor. The project also included the establishment of an administration building, it including a laboratory occupied for meticulous restoration work, a lecture here and another